How's it going, everyone? I'm just about to interview Gerald Celente. He's a publisher of Trends Journal. He's a trend forecaster. He's a business consultant. And this is interesting because about a month ago, he published this video online where he said the title was, "We are in for an economic collapse not seen in our lifetimes." So not seen in our lifetimes, that means that I don't know whose lifetime exactly he's talking about, so let's just say around 50 years. So an economic collapse worse than 2007, the 2007 financial crisis, worse than the 2000 technology bubble, worse than, what was it, the 1989 Black Market Monday, whatever it's called. How bad is this economic collapse going to be, and what is the cause of this massive economic collapse? This is what I want to ask Gerald to see what he says. And I've watched some videos of him before, and he's got such a great personality, and he will speak his mind. Like, that's what I love about him. He doesn't care like who's listening, whatever. He will speak his mind. So this is going to be an exciting interview, and I have no idea how it's going to go and how he's going to, talk. So let's see what he has to say. So guys, I'm with Gerald Celente. Very happy to have him on. I've watched quite a few of your videos and stuff, and as I said in the introduction, I love watching your content because you're just so honest and straightforward with it. So for you guys who don't know, Gerald Celente is a business analyst, trend forecaster, market researcher, publisher of the Trends Journal. So I'm very happy to have you on, Gerald.
Thank you for having me.
The very first thing that I wanted to get into, I saw you release this piece of content about a month ago. Title was, "We are in for an economic collapse of the likes not seen in our lifetimes." So I just want to learn a little bit more about sort of your prediction and what is this economic collapse that you're talking about?
Let's go back to 2019. The global economy was on a big downturn. There were protests going on around the world, from South Africa to Algeria, Colombia, Peru, Chile, all of Lebanon, across the planet. And France, the Yellow Vests. People were taking to the streets because of lack of basic living standards, government corruption, crime, and violence. It was one of our top trends for 2020. We do the top trends in December for the coming year. And then in January 2020, in China, in celebration of their Chinese Lunar New Year, the year of the rat, they launched the COVID war. Again, going back to 2019, Germany, the richest country in Europe, was on fractions of a decimal point away from going into an official recession. And then they began the lockdowns all over the world. The Chinese way, you must obey. So what did governments do? They lowered interest rates. They're already negative in Europe. United States went to zero. And one country after another pumped in trillions and countless trillions of dollars of artificial money to prop up the equity markets and the economies. The stock market should have crashed during the war when they locked people up around the planet. The damage that has been done is incalculable, of the billions of lives and livelihoods that have been destroyed by this COVID war moronic, draconian mandates they imposed. Stand 1 meter apart. Does the wind blow in circles? No, it blows in straight lines. 1 meter. Now you stand 1 meter apart and get back in your house. No, the kids can't go out and play. Lock up those swings and playgrounds. You can't go to the beach. Close down your restaurant. Oh, if you open up, you could close. You got to close at 9 p.m. How about 8:45? 9 p.m. I am your dictator, and I'm telling you what to do. The damage that has been done is incalculable. They artificially propped up the equity markets and the economies with this fake money. Now raising interest rates, that'll do nothing to bring down inflation. All it will do is bring down economies. So when you have oil prices that are now spiking around the world, gas and oil prices, thanks to the moronic stupidity of the same clowns that are in charge, these arrogant politicians, pieces of garbage scum crap that never work a day in their life, that suck off the public tit and tell you what to do, we're going to put sanctions on Russia. Oh, Putin's going to pay for it. That's the quote from the moron running America, Joe Biden. No, the people are paying for it. You're looking at energy prices skyrocketing across Europe. Facts coming out of Italy. Over 100,000 small and medium-sized businesses are going out of business thanks to the COVID lockdowns and the soaring energy prices. Manufacturing stopping in plants all across Germany. Protests taking to the streets in Belgium, in Czech Republic, in Bulgaria, in France, in Germany, in Greece. Oh, and you know where they took place last week? All across Poland because of the skyrocketing inflation and the declining economy. Hey, let's get the people's mind off it really quick. The Russians sent a missile into Poland and killed 2 people. Oh my God, they killed 2 people? Hey, how many people died in Yemen because of the America's Saudi war over there? Oh, they don't count. Yemenis don't count. Hey, how about all the people dying in Ethiopia with the Tigray war? What's a Tigray? Is that like gray tea? Oh, no. We don't really care about that. But 2 people died. And again, the Russians didn't do it. But that got the people's minds.
Who do you think did it then?
Well, they said they did. The Ukrainians did it. The facts came out.
Oh.
The facts already came out. The Ukrainians said that they were defending themselves against Russian missiles coming in, and it went into there. Matter of fact, this is from the Cartoon News Network, CNN. You ready? Here it is, not making it up.
Yeah.
NATO chief, a little piece of shit by the name of Stoltenberg, an arrogant little boy, the NATO chief. Yes, chief. What chief? You're a political piece of crap, but we'll call you chief. NATO chief, quote, "This is not Ukraine's fault." Oh, that's the headline. The deadly strike in Poland was likely fired by Ukrainian defenses. But this is a quote, "But Russia bears ultimate responsibility," said the NATO chief. Hey, crap face. Why does Russia bear ultimate responsibility when the Ukrainian Defense Force did it? Oh, because they invaded Ukraine. All right, but Russia didn't fire the missile. That doesn't make any difference. Swallow the crap that was shoved down your throat like all the other people and obey what we tell you. So what I'm saying, when all else fails, they take you to war. The global economy is crashing. All is on the mind is war. This thing's been going on between Russia and Ukraine for over 300 years. They're taking down a statue of Catherine the Great. She created Odessa. They hate her. Oh, you mean that went back 1750? There's a border war. Oh, and the United States. Oh, how terrible what Russia's doing. Hey, yeah, but the 1 million+ people that we killed in Iraq on a war based on lies, well, that's just fine. Oh, the overthrow of all those governments in South America, Colombia, Peru, Nicaragua, Guatemala, Chile, name them. Oh, that's just fine. We were bringing freedom and democracy. Hey, how about the Afghan war? That the longest war in American history? It was fine. But those dirty Russians. All right.
So that's very interesting. There's a lot we could move into, but I just want to stick more to this, sort of collapse. So you talked around a global type of collapse, and then you also spoke about Europe. So I'm just trying to get a feel for this collapse, you said the likes we have not seen in our lifetime. So what's this going to be like relative to like 2007, 2000? And is it mainly Europe or just everywhere? USA, all other
It's
countries?
global. Look at the stupidity of China, what they've done. Look what they've done with their zero COVID policy. I used to be on China, on Hong Kong TV in 2019. And I'm on for like 20 minutes at a time. And I'm talking to the guys after we take a break. And there were protests going on in Hong Kong. They were not going to let the Chinese rule the way they were. Over 1 million people were taking to the streets in a city of 7.5 million. 7.5 million people, and 1 million are taken to the streets. You can't get 1 million people to take to the streets in America of a country of 332 million.
Yeah.
All right? They launched the COVID war, and what happens? Boop. Locked down China, locked down Hong Kong, passed the Security Act, took control. So what I'm saying is one country after another followed. So now China still has a zero COVID policy. Look at their GDP. We had forecast before the COVID war that China would surpass America as the world's largest economy within 7 years. No more. Look at the luxury sales going down all over. They were sending a lot of stuff to China. Look at all the businesses that were depending on China to keep building their revenue stream going down. And now we're looking at, again, you're looking at soaring energy prices around the world, wheat prices, corn prices, all the food prices, and particularly in Africa and other countries. This is hitting people so hard. I've just mentioned to you all the demonstrations that are going on in Europe. They're demonstrating in Italy, in Greece, in Belgium, in Germany, in France, in Poland, in Bulgaria, in Czech Republic, one country after another, because of lack of basic living standards, of government corruption, crime, and violence. So what I'm saying is you're going to have a global collapse, and at the same time, in trend forecasting, all things are connected. As Chief Seattle said, all things are connected like the blood which unites us all. So you have to look at the big geopolitical. And then I forgot about the Middle East. How about Israel, huh? Israel could bomb away over Syria any day they want, keep ramping up wars with Iran, say that they're going to attack Iran. If there's a military outbreak in the Middle East, you're going to see oil prices skyrocket. So you have to put this all together, and that's what's building. When all else fails, they take you to war. What followed the Great Depression? World War II. What followed the dot-com bust? The war on terror. And then they built it up phony.
Do you think we're going to see a global war coming soon?
It's already happened. We are at war with Russia. If I asked you to send me weapons to kill the guy across the street, are you an accessory to the crime? They're going to do a false flag. We're at war. This is what I'm saying. The government school system that morons and imbeciles call a public school system is nothing more than a brainwashing scheme. What they teach you in school, okay, boys and girls, here's your history class. World War I began when they assassinated the Archduke Ferdinand in Sarajevo. What the hell is a Sarajevo, and who gives a shit about the Archduke? The whole thing was building up before that, but the morons bought it. Hey, how about all you folks right next to you over there in Australia that went over to Gallipoli that lost your lives for nothing, huh? How about I'm a Yankee Doodle dandy, a Yankee Doodle do or die? Hey, how about the Second World War? Oh, when did that begin? That began when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. Oh, yeah, nothing was leading up to that. The United States didn't cut off all the oil to Japan. Nothing was going on. No. That's when it began. They're going to do the same thing with this. World War III has begun. They're going to wait for a false flag event.
Yeah, because we're not seeing the. I mean, in USA and stuff, we're not seeing people like troops going over to Russia. It's not a full-on war, but so you think this is kind of the prelude to it?
There are 40,000 U.S. troops in Poland.
What are they
They
doing there?
just sent over.
They're not fighting, right?
Oh, no, they're off.
What are they doing? Are they?
What do you think they're doing? They're training them. They're sending weapons. They're doing security.
So
They're
they're
doing
training. They're
intelligence.
training. They're not. There's no fighting going on yet.
No fighting. What do you don't know what missiles, what they're doing, whatever they're doing, giving orders what to do, how to do it. You're an accessory to the crime.
40,000. That's a lot.
Yeah, I know. And
Yeah.
that's the official number.
Yeah.
The United States is now sending over, it's going to be $110 billion since the Ukraine war began on February 24th of this year. Biden just asked for another $40 billion. And by the way, America had an election, right? The people call them the Democrats and the Republicans. They're the Bloods and the Crips. They're murderers and thieves.
Mm-hmm.
Every Democrat voted to send 40 billion bucks the last time around, and they're voting again for more. So what I'm saying to you is that, yes, there are troops on the ground already in Ukraine. They're saying that there's security and they're not doing anything. You don't know.
No, I know. That's why I'm asking you, because you're pretty good with finding sort of, I guess you could say, inside information that isn't mainstream. So what do you see?
You're fighting. Of course they are. Or they are out on the lines. No, they don't. Not doing that. That's rookie shit. They're giving them the orders, what to do, how to do it. They're sending them all kinds of intelligence. They're fighting the war with them.
Okay.
The generals aren't on the front line.
Okay. I want to bring this bit more towards the market and the economy, because I'm not well educated on what's going on all there, although it is extremely interesting. So, because the markets are already down, do you think it's just going to keep going down further by a lot, or where do you see things going? Because
when you look at the data in America, after every midterm election, 40 midterm elections, like every other year, right? After the last 40 midterm elections, the S&P 500 went up 15% within 12 months. The game is rigged. The market should have crashed. This is what I was going back to. All things are connected. When they launched the COVID war and closed down businesses across the world, the markets should have collapsed. But they had zero interest rates. You had merger and acquisition activity at an all-time high in 2021. The bigs just got bigger. So what's going to happen? Can the markets go? The market should be down deep into bear territory. They should be down way over 20%. They're being artificially propped up. And they have another thing called a plunge protection team. Again, that's the name they give for rigging the market. The New York Federal Reserve is right in Wall Street. When the markets go down too much, they artificially pump it back up. Same thing in China with their team. So in every country. So the market should be way down. Will they go down further? It's a rigged game. Look, 1% owns 54% of all of the stocks in America. 10% own 90%. So the bigs are playing their own game, and they're running the show. You can't forecast when this thing is going to go down. And now they're even talking now about easing interest rate hikes. So let's go to the interest rates. In America, it's now between what? 3.75 to 4.0.
Yeah.
What's your inflation rate? Oh, 7.2%. Okay, wait a minute. You have your base rate is around 4%, and we have an inflation rate of 7.2%. So what you really have is negative interest rates. And now they're saying they're going to only raise them 50 basis points when they meet on December, just about a month from today. So now let's go to Europe. What do you have? a 0.50 interest rate. They took it from negative, and now it's about 0.50, 0.75. Oh, and what's your inflation rate? Over 10%. So you have deep in negative territory interest rates. So what they're doing is, even though the interest rates are going up and the economy is going down, as I said, it's going to do nothing to solve the inflation problem. What it's going to do is put some businesses out of business. But again, if they keep it low, the markets are just going to keep going up because they're going to keep rigging them. But again, that's why I'm going back to the war. These are the wild cards. Should war escalate in Ukraine and the Middle East, the game changes. That's why nobody can predict the future. There are too many wild cards, whether they're made by humans or nature. And we got a lot of wild cards on the deck.
I want to say, do you see any opportunity? I feel like in every market condition that appears, that opportunity shows up. 2 years ago, it seemed to be oil. Oil prices went extremely low. Do you see any area where it's like, oh, okay, there's great opportunity to make money?
Yeah. And I think the biggest ones are going to be, again, I'm a political atheist. We don't look at things, what we like and what we don't like, and give the analysis. We give the analysis of everything. So for the whole climate change thing, there's going to be a big movement in that. It's not going to stop. Energy is going to be a field that's going to be a big investment field. Another one is interactive education, and all interactive.
Yes.
It's going to continue to grow.
Truth.
I wrote about this in 1996 in my book Trend Tracking. I called it Interactive View.
Yeah.
When the internet just began.
I don't know if you follow someone called Andrew Tate, but he runs something called Hustlers University, which is like online business education. And he was making $10 million a month through that university. Crazy.
Yeah. So, but it's going to be much bigger. Now, let's go on the downside and the opportunities. Because if things go down, it's time to buy also.
Yeah.
I own 3 of the most historic buildings in America. I own a 1750, a 1763, and a 1774 Academy on the most historic Four Corners, the only place in America with pre-Revolutionary War stone buildings. I bought them in 2012 at the bottom of the real estate market. I got an interest rate on one of them. It was like 2.6%. So, and now here's going to be the biggest crash and the biggest opportunity if you do something with it. And it's going to be in the commercial business office sector. The office occupancy rates in the United States are just around 50%. In Europe, it's around 46%. So let's go back to the COVID war. Again, all things are connected. You got to stay home. You can't go to work. All right. Now you're home for a couple of weeks. Now you're home for a couple of months. And you're saying to yourself, damn it. Oh, I can't believe I was getting up at 5 a.m. to drive an hour and a half to work and driving an hour and a half back. I can't believe I gave my life up to do that. I'm not doing that anymore. Okay. Listen, I'm not coming into work every day. I'll come in 3 days a week, 2 days a week. But, I've been working from home now for a year, and I'm not going to do it anymore. All right, you can work from home. Now I rent, let's say, 10 stories out of an office building. I don't need 10 stories anymore. Give me 2. I just saved myself a lot of dough. You are going to see a collapse in the office retail sector, the likes of which are unprecedented. Now let's tie it all together. How about all those businesses that depended on commuters? Oh, only a third of the dry cleaners in America have gone out of business. All of the shoe repair places, the hairstylists, the happy hours, gone. So there's going to be opportunities. You're going to turn these into apartments, the buildings that you can, because there's going to be a lot of need for rental apartments because people won't be able to afford to buy homes, just like they can't already. And again, are the prices of homes going to crash? No, we don't see them crashing. Are they going to go down? Yeah. But this isn't like 2000 crash, the panic of 08, when you didn't have a job and you didn't have any money and you owed money and you could get a subprime mortgage. This is different this time. So those are the things we're looking at.
Mm. Do you think people will get back to going into the office? Because there's this argument. No, there's this argument that people say they're very inefficient from working from home, and that competition is going to make businesses get them back into the office and actually working. Like Elon Musk, he's big on this, like saying, "Come back into the office." No, you're not going to be working from home.
Yeah. It's just not happening. It's a different world. It's a totally different world. They're not
Okay.
doing it.
I mean, obviously,
And
the employees, they want to work from home, they want it easy, but do you not think that business will, dictate?
no, because they've been doing it now for almost 3 years.
Mm,
And the businesses know, the people know what works and what doesn't. Musk is desperate because of the deal that he made there, and he's trying to boost it up. That's just him. But again, if I'm a guy running a business, and I don't care as long as you get your job done. I have writers for the Trends Journal. None of them are around here.
yeah, I've got workers too, and they're overseas.
Yeah, and I have people coming in. You come in 3 days a week.
Yeah.
I don't care as long as they get the job done. I can
Yeah,
care where
fair.
they are.
Fair.
And by the way, now the office spaces that they used to take up, I rent out to others.
Oh, smart move.
So I don't care. I don't care where you are. Just get your job done.
Yeah.
And that's the new world. Again, if this happened 20 years ago, the people would be back to work. But this is the high-tech age. It's a different world. Who would have Zoomed before?
Yeah.
My parents' generation, they'd be in shock.
Yeah. I mean, it is a crazy concept if you think about it. The fact that, I can talk to this great mind halfway across the world. It's cool. It's crazy. Technology is awesome. So from a different perspective, let's say you own a decent amount of money and you're quite conservative. What would your strategy be then? If a collapse is coming, what's the best way to position yourself then?
I don't give financial advice, number one.
Mm-hmm.
But for only speaking for myself, gold, silver is my two priorities. And when this thing goes down, gold prices to me should be much, much higher. And again, they rigged the market. And I'm not making that up. The bankster gang, JP Morgan Chase in 2019, it's not very far, not too far, long ago, will find only $900 million for rigging the precious metals markets. When gold prices spike, the world is going to know, the average person that doesn't know anything is going to know how bad it is. And you're seeing gold prices move up again. And I believe gold hit its bottom a few weeks ago. And it has a long way to go up. Because when this thing goes down, you see when the prices of gold spiked, it was during the panic of 2008 when things were going down seriously. It's a safe haven asset. Number two, why would you keep your money in the bank? Let's go back again. All things are connected. What happened with Poland? It was a big news. Oh my God, oh my God. Now let's make up another story, okay? That didn't happen, but we'll make up another one. The Russians hacked into our banking system. You may have lost your money, but we're going to make sure everything we can that you get it back.
Yeah.
Because now I'm going to go back to 9/11. There used to be a newspaper, it was very big and very good at one time, called USA Today. And they used to run my top trends every year. And my top trend for 2001, the headline in USA Today ran in December 2000 for the coming year. 2001 won't be our year, Trendseer says. And I warned that a wave of anti-Americanism was sweeping the globe, and Americans wouldn't be safe at home or abroad. And that was a result of Bill Clinton's bombing the hell out of Iraq. Only 500,000 children under the age of 5 died because of the sanctions he put on. And Madeleine Albright, the UN, America's ambassador to the UN, was on 60 Minutes and was asked, is the price of 500,000 dead Iraqi children worth the price? And she said, yes, it is. And then Bill Clinton launching the Yugoslav war, all the damage he did to the Palestinians, on and on and on, bombs away in Mozambique, continuing. In the Bronx, we used to say, payback's a bitch. So when 9/11 happened, and I'm watching this unfold, and they say planes are coming down the Hudson River in New York. And I know, being in New York, I know this thing inside out. And only about 35 miles north of New York City is a place called Indian Point, which is a nuclear power plant. And I said to myself, if they bomb this nuclear power plant, there's going to be chaos like you've never seen in this world. So the first thing I did is I called up the bank, and I had certificates of deposit, because I had my guns, gold, and a getaway plan. I said, I'm getting the hell out of here. I'm going up to Canada, which is about 4.5 hours. I lived in Rhinebeck at the time. From there, I could get out anywhere. And I had maps. They had maps in those days, take back streets, because I knew they closed down big highways if this thing happened. The bank said to me, I'm sorry, Mr. Celente, certificates of deposit are traded on Wall Street, and Wall Street's closed. You can't get your money.
Mm.
If there
that's my worst nightmare.
If there is, this is what happened. So if they make up something, or something happens where the banking system is closed down, screw you, you lost your money.
Yeah. And a lot of people might think that might be hyperbolic, but look what happened in Canada with the truckers. They said the wrong thing, so to speak, and their money got frozen. And even in China, right, there was those banks who froze. There was multiple banks who froze their customers' money. So
That's right.
it's happened in a lot of big countries. So
why would you keep your money in the bank when they're making money on your money? I mean, to me, you got to be out of your mind.
Yeah.
Why the hell would you give? Oh, the bankers, by the way, once upon a time, as the story goes, there was someone by the name of Jesus Christ. And what he did was he drove the money changers out of the temple. 3 days later, the cat's on the cross, all right?
Wow. What's the money changers mean? Just the bankers,
the money changers are the bankers.
Yeah,
that's they called them back in the day.
Yeah.
They loaned people money that they couldn't afford to borrow it. So the money changers in the temple, he threw them out. So that's where we're at. We're in a we're in a very serious situation. And by the way, here's a Trends Journal from, this is when it used to be a monthly, it's a weekly now, 2014. Washington is driving the world to the final war. World hegemony is not a right America has earned, and it's all about America's overthrow of the Ukraine's democratically elected president, Viktor Yanukovych, the coup by the United States, on and on and on, all the details. People have no idea what happened there.
So I just want to finish this because we're gone half an hour. I'll finish this off with a few quick fire questions. And just so basically, if you can answer them as quick as possible, just to get a general feel for the way you think. So investing in the USA or China?
China to me is it's a crapshoot at this point. With this zero COVID policy, you got to watch out what's going on there. They say they're going to loosen it up, and they keep tightening it down. And the United States, to me, is on its way out, going down, it's no more the land of opportunity.
How about,
I wouldn't invest in any country. I would just invest in what I believe are going to be the market areas that are going to grow.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. What do you think of crypto? Crypto a good buy?
It's a gamble. And here's where the gamble gets tough. And this is what we said from the very beginning, when not the very beginning, but when it really started to go up. And that is, and you're seeing it happen, when the governments go crypto, they're going to go, as we say, from dirty cash to digital trash. So governments are all going to go digital. This way they know every penny you spent, where you spent it, what you spent it on. So they have total control of you. And they could get every penny that they want for taxes, because these people don't work a day in their lives and they need tax money. And remember, when they locked down everything, the politicians didn't take any pay cuts, right? Yeah. So they're not going to want any competition. And just as you remember, let's go back to Bitcoin. Bitcoin boomed because of China, what was going on in China. when it first had its big boom. And then China banned it. And then China's going now with the digital yuan. So I believe that there's still a good gambling opportunity in cryptos. And I think the bottom for Bitcoin is going to be around 10,000. But even when you say 10,000, considering from where it started from, it's way up.
What is the main asset in your portfolio?
Guns.
Guns.
Golden getaway plan. Yeah, guns. I got guns. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
You're
If somebody
preparing
breaks
for the
in my
war.
house and tries to come in here, I'll kill them, just to make it clear. If you break into my house, I'll brains out.
Don't mess with
Anyway,
Gerald Celente.
the gold is my number one
Gold.
asset.
Yeah, you've
And
been a
real
big
estate.
gold guy for a while, isn't it?
Yeah, I bought my first buy of gold at $187.50 an ounce back in the 70s. I just read an article that if you invested in Walmart $1,000 10 years ago, I think it'd be worth like only about $2,000 today or something like that. Not a lot. It's a gamble in the markets.
Yeah.
And to me, gold is the number one safe haven asset.
If you could make
And
one
real estate.
Yep.
And real estate.
And real estate. Okay, yeah.
Yep.
If you could make one investment for 2023, what would it be?
I don't know. Again, it's either gold or real estate.
Okay.
Again, that's the markets that I play. I don't go into the equity markets.
Okay, well, I want to thank you very much for taking the time. We've gone over half an hour. I've got a billion more questions, but that's okay. And there you go. That's why I like Gerald. He will say his mind. So, and go watch his YouTube as well. And if you want, go subscribe to his Trends Journal, or just watch the videos. The videos are cool, and yeah, he speaks his mind, and that's what I like. So that's how
Well,
just
briefly, I at a graduate school, I worked on major campaigns in Westchester County, which is the richest county in America at the time. And they were grooming me, and they sent me up to Albany, which is the state capital. And I was the assistant to the secretary of the New York State Senate, the guy that ran the whole show. And it was the worst job I ever had. I watched grown men grovel to suck their way up to the top, but I've been on the inside. And I was the chief government affairs specialist for the chemical industry back in the 70s in DC. And I only wanted to make money, of course, do other things too, time of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And I was killing environmental legislation at the height of the environmental movement. I picked up Ronald Reagan, the president of the United States, just 2 days before he's announcing he's running for president against Gerald Ford, and put on a brunch with him with 16 of our board of directors. I've been with presidents, prime ministers, and princes. I've been on the other side. I wouldn't know what I know if I wasn't on the other side.
right.
And
Well,
so from
I'll ask
being
you
on
this.
the other side,
Yeah.
I see how corrupt it is,
Yeah.
and how they could care less about our lives, and that the people that are running the show are basically mentally ill.
Do you get worried about speaking out about this stuff, or you don't care?
Oh, I don't care. I mean, I don't want to be killed.
Yeah.
But other than that, I could care who likes me or doesn't like me. One of the most moronic, stupid things, again, the crap that they shove down your throat when they say, for example, what will, let's say, Biden's legacy be? Legacy? Who gives a shit what people think of you when you're dead? I could care what they think of me while I'm alive. Who cares about your legacy?
Yeah.
You only care about yourself, what you're doing in life, to do the best that you can. And that's what I want to tell everybody, by the way.
Yeah.
And that's the most important message of what we're talking about. The most important thing for everybody right now to do is to get in the best shape you can.
Truth.
Because we're going into the toughest times that you can, physically, emotionally, and spiritually.
Truth.
And secondly, do whatever you can to do something in a positive way to change the course of evil that has become the new normal. Whether it's supporting peace movements like our Occupy Peace movement, or whatever you want to do something. Because if everybody starts doing something positive for the better good, the whole game changes. It does not take a majority to prevail, but rather an irate, tireless minority, keen on setting brush fires of freedom in the minds of men, said Samuel Adams, one of the founding fathers of America.
Wow. And also, if I could add, which was something I found very interesting when listening to you, was what your dad used to say to you. I can't remember exactly the thing, but he said, you got to think for yourself. You got to, don't just say someone else's opinion. Like, what do you think? How do you weigh up all of the information? I love that.
So two things. What happened, I'd be saying something as a kid, and in Italian, he'd say to me, "Papagallo, parrot."
Yeah,
Stop
probably.
repeating what everybody else is
Yeah.
saying and think for
Yeah.
yourself. And the other thing he said to me when I was a kid, and again, I'm a lucky guy. I'm going to be 76 this month, spirit of 76. And I'm born in 1946 at the height, right after the war. A Napolitano born in the Bronx, where you learn how to fight and be free. I'd come home as a little kid and get beat up, and my father would say to me, "You don't come home crying, and you learn how to fight." And number two, when you get in a fight, you get in a fight with your parents, your father, he'd say to me, "You little bastard, you think I'm telling you what I'm telling you because I want you to be like me? I want you to become yourself."
I love that. Yeah.
And that's what's missing in this world today.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
People
everyone.
becoming themselves. You got to fit into a category now.
Yeah. You have to, yeah, you're not sort of thinking for yourself. You're just spouting out what your teacher says, and oh, my teacher says this, and you don't think it through. Like, oh, is this good for society? Is this actually true? Like, think.
So you see how I cry because I'm a Napolitano. We cry when our heart feels the passion, and we'll slit your throat if you fuck with us.
Yeah,
we go
that's
from
true.
zero to we go, and as everybody in Italy knows, the Napolitanos are different than everybody else.
Yeah. Well, I'll make sure I won't get on your bad side then. Anyway, thank you very much for taking the time.
I used to teach close combat for many years. I had my own school, so it's not it's the way of being free.
Thank you, Gerald. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.